Hello again, good internet people. Welcome back to our Best Millennial Kids Show Bracket Tournament. This is our other region. So this region includes shows from Toonami, Magoozy, WB Kids, 4Kids, Foxbox, and more. Now we had a few questions earlier as to why shows like Dragon Ball Z and Teen Titans were not in the Cartoon Network region. This is the reason why. We felt that these shows were staples of Toonami and are different from the original Cartoon Network cartoons and shows. Also, Avatar: The Last Airbender is in this region. It was not in our Nickelodeon region. We felt that that show aligned more with shows from this region in terms of the action and plot, even though the show aired on Nick. Now, if you want to see our full parameters of this tournament, please watch the beginning of our Nickelodeon region video. The link to that video is in the description below. Now enough of me, let's get into those brackets.
Welcome everyone back for the fourth and final bracket before we get into the semifinals and finals of our millennial best, most influential, most nostalgic TV show bracket. We are now in our other category, which includes things like WB, Toonami, things like that. Let's get this kicked off, started with our number one seeded, arguably the biggest franchise of any of the and biggest cult following of any of the shows that we've put on throughout these brackets with Pokemon. The number 16 seeded Sailor Moon. I remember watching some of the episodes of Sailor Moon. Again, this is another strong one seed with Pokemon. And one of my favorite shows and games and all that stuff. I know obviously we're pointing specifically to show Pokemon, so Pokemon takes this easy for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go quick on this one. Sailor Moon is a fantastic character, but really good cult following. But you see a lot of people dressing up as Sailor Moon, just
a lot of
all
cosplay.
the time, cosplay, Halloween. But Pokemon, man,
It's Pokemon.
This is gonna be a tough one, man. Yeah, a tough one going forward. Obviously, not this matchup.
I'm actually going to disagree with Pokemon just being this unstoppable one seed. I think there's plenty of shows on here that could stop it. Pokemon is very predictable in terms of the show. Now, obviously, Pokemon you can consider is just more than the show. Obviously, I think started as a card game, morphed into the show, morphed into the Game Boy games that everybody knows and loves. And yeah, I mean, I played hours of Pokemon. Red version, silver version, sapphire version. I mean, the list goes on. My sister still plays those games today. I mean, the impact is incredible.
As do I, yeah.
So, obviously, I think for that reason, though, yes, it will get by Sailor Moon. There will be no upset here, but Pokemon is not this strong one seed, I think, in terms of just the show. That's just my opinion as we move forward. But yes, stronger than Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon, not a bad show, but obviously not Pokemon. So,
alrighty, Chad agrees. Clean sweep there. Moving on to the number 2 seeded Avatar: The Last Airbender versus the number 15 seeded Beyblade. Will, I'm going to ask you to hold for a minute because we don't. I'm not saying to push it. I'm just saying hold the Avatar-ness until when it's needed, because right now it is not. Avatar easily beats Beyblade. Beyblade was a good show. I liked it, but it's a bunch of spinning tops. Avatar, easy win here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Avatar, it's a fantastic show. I actually, and we will discuss this later because yes, I am voting for Avatar. But I actually think a 2 seed was slightly too low, high, whatever you want to call it. I think it might have been more like a 3 or 4 seed in this looking at this bracket. But regardless, we will get into further discussions later, as Beyblade was more of an IRL and not a TV show. So Avatar takes the cake here.
I already know Will's vote.
Yeah, that already locked me in for Avatar, and that was very well said, Garrett. I actually didn't know that Beyblades was a show.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing the spinning tops and all the ads for it, and obviously I knew it was a very popular toy back in the day. I saw that at recess one time when I was in 4th grade.
I had the whole arena and the Beyblades. Yeah, I had all that shit.
Wow.
Yeah. Avatar.
Yep.
Yes.
And chat agrees. That is an easy one. The number 3 seeded Animaniacs versus the number 14 Shaolin Showdown.
Ooh.
So Shaolin Showdown, I actually liked a lot. And I don't remember a lot about either of these shows. I remember loving both of them, and frankly, for me, I remember loving Animaniacs more, and therefore I'm going with the Animaniacs. Getting kind of quick and easy.
Yeah, no, this is actually, in my mind, actually a little bit harder than what it looked like. Shaolin Showdown was a really, really good show. I think actually on any animated series, I think maybe ever, it's probably the greatest cast ever assembled. You have Tara Strong, who everyone should know. She voiced about 1 billion of, right? I wrote down who all was in it because the voice of Vicky in Fairly Odd Parents, Tom
So
Kennedy,
Grady
who
Delisle,
voiced,
yeah.
yeah, Tom Kennedy who voiced SpongeBob, and Jeff Bennett who voiced Johnny Bravo. Probably the strongest cast. However, they missed the mark on just a lot. If you're comparing to Animaniacs, it just Animaniacs was just that. It kind of hit a little bit for everybody. The kind of Tom and Jerry-ish style. You've got the little skits on in the show. But yeah, so here I'm going Animaniacs.
With Garrett here, I think that this is a very close matchup, actually, and I watched a lot of both of these shows. At the end of the day, Shaolin Showdown was hilarious, and I didn't realize that with all the voice actors. Yeah, I did not realize that, but shouldn't be surprised.
It goes further. I checked. It goes even further than what I said. It's the greatest cast I've ever seen.
That's I'll have to. Yeah, that's pretty remarkable. And now, Shaolin Showdown did come before Avatar: The Last Airbender. When I take a look at Shaolin Showdown, it's kind of like a poor man's Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It also reminds me a little bit of like the Jackie Chan show in that regard.
Yeah.
It kind of had this. It kind of had the same type of humor. It actually did have a little bit of plot, believe it or not. It kind of did. The characters did develop, and actually, I did like that. But at the end of the day, I think Animaniacs was almost pretty much a certified classic. I mean, the World Song, Wacko's United States Song. I was really into geography, so immediately I would just nerd out. I mean, it's just, yeah. It's Yakko, right? It's Yakko who does the nation song. That's probably one of the most impressive songs, I think.
It's like Yakko Wacko or something, right?
Yeah.
It's like his first name, last name.
That's one of the most impressive songs in a cartoon ever assembled, written, performed. Yeah, that alone, I think, gives the edge to Animaniacs.
All right, moving on to the number 4 seeded Power Rangers, which could be considered a little underseeded here with how big it is, and the number 13 seeded Code Lyoko. I to this day am still a Power Rangers fan. I loved Power Rangers as a kid. I love Power Rangers now. I think it's one of those things that I will show my kids. Just for, again, it was the show for me of any of the shows in these brackets. It was the one show that I knew I was going to watch, and I made time for other shows, but this was the show I knew I was going to watch every weekend. I mean, I watched almost every variation out there until very, very recently. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. If we're talking about theme songs, one of the most recognizable songs in the world. For me, this isn't even close. It's Power Rangers.
Yeah, so I was talking about seeding, which again we'll get into the shows specific, because obviously you can't change the seeding. Maybe Power Rangers had a tough season, and I think they should have been the 2 seed. But maybe they just dropped down to that 4 seed. Had a tough season.
They had a couple trap games,
Yeah, a couple trap games in the middle of the season. But yeah, man, Code Lyoko is running into, I think, a powerhouse here with my 2 seed. But yeah, I'm gonna go Power Rangers here. There's a lot more to be said about them.
Okay, I gotta say, Code Lyoko has got to be one of the most unintentionally funny shows of all time. The foreheads, the giant foreheads. It never failed to make me laugh, and I'm almost embarrassed to admit this. I'm almost embarrassed to admit this. I have watched the entire show, Code Lyoko. I've watched it all the way through. Every single episode is super predictable. The same thing happens every time. There is a little bit of character development, believe it or not, and actually I think it's a really cool concept, but there is so many animation mistakes. I mean, I'm not a big person to point out, like I see an animation error there or anything like that. I usually am not really that I don't usually pay that much attention, but it is just so noticeable and it is hilarious. It's so funny. And to me, it almost like gives it this weird charm. Now with Power Rangers, didn't watch a lot of it, saw a bit of it here and there. To me, Power Rangers always felt a little clunky. I don't know why that is. Like, the plot wasn't bad or anything like that. I just thought the live action part of it just always felt clunky. I think I may have to pick Code Lyoko. Nah, I can't do that. Sorry. No. Code Lyoko. Too many mistakes. Too many mistakes in Code Lyoko to even consider it. I'll have to go Power Rangers just because I know there wasn't as many mistakes in the show. Let's just say that. Let's call it for what it is.
Number 5 seeded Dragon Ball Z versus the number 12 seeded Musha Lucha. Dragon Ball Z is another one of those shows that I absolutely adore. I still, to this day, adore it. I think I struggled with some of those really long, drawn-out fights, like the Cell fight and the Frieza and Majin Buu. Majin Buu a little bit less, but like the Cell and Frieza series, more so the Frieza series, it was very, very drawn out in that sense, and it was a little hard to follow. Especially when he's doing I believe it was the Spirit Bomb that took 3 episodes to build. But again, for me, Dragon Ball Z is another one of those cult followings. There's episodes,
huge.
There's episodes. There's characters. So like for me, Gotenks, the fusion, the things that Gohan and Trunks did. Gotenks, excuse me. And I mean, for me, I feel like anyone who's watched Dragon Ball Z in a substantial amount has been able to pick a character they absolutely love from the beginning to the end. So for me, Dragon Ball Z takes this. Mucha Lucha was fine. I can't say I remember a whole lot about it, but regardless, Dragon Ball Z was great.
Yeah, I remember Ricochet, the main character in Mucha Lucha, but I remember that they had a lot of going through with their friends and this and that, and no, man, Dragon Ball Z, I think this is one of those shows where I think it's more like I think again they had maybe a couple trap games, a little rough season, got a little lower seeded than I expected, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go Dragon Ball Z on this one. I think that Ricochet and friends don't really stand a chance against Dragon Ball Z here.
Mucha Lucha always found super annoying. Anytime a promo came on from, I'm like, wow, I'm totally not watching that show. I did accidentally watch it a few times. I'm like, wow, I feel like I just wasted 10 minutes of my life, tuning into 10 minutes of that show. That's just me personally. Dragon Ball Z is iconic, people. I mean, you got to pick it here at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Chat agrees with that one as well. The number 6 seeded Teen Titans versus the 11 seeded Batman Beyond. I loved Batman Beyond. I think it was a really good show and a kind of a unique take on Batman. But Teen Titans again is an absolute cult following. When we didn't put it on the Cartoon Network bracket, I thought people were literally going to call for our heads.
Yes.
I think it was a classic show. It was not my favorite show, but it beats Batman Beyond for me.
Yeah, I remember South Midwest taking your head off on this one. We're looking for that Teen Titans. But yeah, no, Batman in general, obviously much larger than Teen Titans. But this show, oddly enough, I think the Joker outshined the Batman in this animated series. Man, Teen Titans is just, I'm going to get more into Teen Titans. I think they're going to take this one. I give my vote to Teen Titans. It's a great show. I see where you guys, a lot of struggling with the seeding choices because of, it's hard to compare when they're all not on the same network.
Some were seeded based on matchups too. So.
Fair enough, exactly. So yeah, man, this is Teen Titans was a great show. Great show. So I'm going to go Teen Titans over Batman, the show.
It's fitting that these two shows face each other. Obviously, the connection between Batman and Robin, uncanny there. But this one's not even close, folks. I mean, Teen Titans, a much more complete show. And if you want to take a look at a clinic, or what would be a clinic in voice acting, look no further than Ron Perlman voicing Slade. absolutely gave me nightmares. One of the scariest characters of my childhood. Like, put fear in me. Like, I'd watch Teen Titans, go to bed, and have nightmares of Slade. I mean, he was just that intimidating, that scary. Ron Perlman did such a good job voicing that character. One of the best voice characters, I think, of all time. No joke. Teen Titans all day.
By the way, Tara Strong is in Teen Titans as well.
Yeah, completely switches it up with Raven, right? She's usually doing these bubbly characters, and all of a sudden she's doing a dark character.
Exactly. That's yeah.
So I think this is actually an underrated good matchup. I don't even know if that's a thing. It's a very good matchup, and I think it's, if you look at this bracket, you're not like, this is a tough matchup. But I think it is. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, cult classic. Cult following, classic. I mean, from the movies to the TV shows, all are amazing. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of took the world by storm for a while. You know, Pokemon kind of slid off. Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of became a really big thing for a while. Magic had just kind of gone on its downfall too. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Had a good couple of years there where it was really, really big. But again, for me, I wanted to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle when I was a kid. Like, I wanted to surf the sewers and eat pizza all day and fight crime as a turtle. For me, TMNT takes this. Donatello's my favorite one. Thank you. TMNT all day.
Yeah, man. Yu-Gi-Oh! Like you said, you hit all my points there, man. It somehow knocked a little bit of Pokemon off of their high horse. Just a little bit for a little while there. Pokemon kind of, obviously, as we know now, has evolved into more than it. But no, here, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! is a great show. But man, I've got to agree, man. Who didn't want to be a turtle fighting crime, eating pizza in the sewers with a rat?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, man, it's just. Yeah, man. You know, you got to go Leo, Raph, you know, Mikey, Donnie,
and Mikey.
Man, you know, you got to go with them. TMNT, baby.
I almost have to laugh here. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is such an embarrassment of a show, honestly. This one is not even close. This is not about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is as to how bad of a show Yu-Gi-Oh! Was. Horrible writing. The Abridged series has outshined that by tenfold. If you've seen the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged series on YouTube, it is just so hilarious and so much better than the actual show. What does that tell you about the actual show? One of the lines that they kept on using was, "Oh my God, dude, what a digital dummy." I just remember like cringing at that line. Like, what on earth did I just hear? Just really clunky writing. I don't know. I found Yu-Gi-Oh! Was always kind of a weird thing to me. The show never really did it for me. It really didn't do it for me. I think it's actually one of the worst shows in this entire bracket. That and Hannah Montana would be quite a fascinating matchup. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! But
fair enough.
Yeah.
TMNT moves on in that one.
Yeah, TMNT easily.
So my pick for the hardest matchup in this first round is Digimon versus Sonic X. Digimon, again, one of those shows that kind of picked off when Pokemon kind of slid off a little bit with what they were producing. And while it wasn't fantastic, it was a good show. At least I felt so. I definitely latched on to Digimon when Pokemon slid off a little bit. But Sonic X for me, I love the Sonic games. I made a point to watch this show again on the weekend. Like, I had the weekend lineup, you know, and Sonic X was on that lineup. Digimon was another one I would kind of watch when it was on. But I love the characters in Sonic: Knuckles, Shadow, Sonic, Tails, all the characters. Dr. Eggman. Unfortunately, they ruined it with the most current movie, but to me, Sonic X gets the edge over Digimon, and it's a lot closer than I made it sound. But I think Sonic was the better show.
Yeah, I think you did make it pretty close there with the way you. No, Sonic is the more recognizable character in my mind.
Yeah.
overall, but man, watching his TV show was like nails on chalkboard, man. I think Digimon was the better show. I gravitated more towards Digimon. Um, when as sort of the backup to Pokemon. But yeah, no, man, I think Digimon has to take Sonic. I did not like the Sonic this TV show specifically, but yeah, I'm going to go Digimon here. Lock it in.
Sonic has had several reboots in terms of their show. You had like the original Sonic show, then this Sonic X, and you also had Sonic Underground. I actually thought Sonic Underground was better than Sonic X and better than any of the other Sonic shows. I thought that was the most watchable. At the end of the day, though, first off, that Digimon theme song never gets stuck in my head. Yeah, I mean, one of the best theme songs on here. Very underrated theme song. Close matchup, but I just think with Sonic, you've just seen so much bad with it too. Just so much annoying content created. There's been some good, but there's also just been some bad. And then when I look back at Digimon, I look back and saying, oh, you know what? Good competition to Pokemon. Actually, in a lot of ways, I think a lot more of a creative show than Pokemon. And yeah, I was kind of ripping off the idea a little bit. Gave it some competition. Good theme song. Like, I look back and said, yeah, that was a pretty good show. And had a pretty good movie, too. So Digimon moves on.